BlackJack Sports. My name is Jackson Durkee, alongside with host Blake Lumberger on a Friday, and it's after 3 o'clock here on the East Coast. As we had a busy sports weekend upon us from what happened from 2 nights ago, and then the upcoming weekend for football.
What happened 2 nights ago?
And the rest of the weekend as well. So let's get caught up from stuff that we just to recap with and get the weekend going started. So let's talk the World Series first.
Of course.
From Wednesday, from Game 7.
Of
the
course.
World Series. You know, about the World Series, it's good for the Astros because they won it in a way where they found a way to win this World Series, led by George Springer and I believe it was top of the first inning where they got a home run and hit it out of the park, led by more runners, led by it after that. And about the World Series, here's what I should have.
What you think,
here's
Jack?
my take on it is.
Are you glad Houston won?
I am, because since the Braves did it in '95, since the last time they ever won it as a franchise, since last time they've done it as a team. Look, you look at teams that have not won a World Series but have gone to the World Series before. But the teams that I look at have not won a World Series ever as a team. I am talking teams like the Nationals, Mariners, the Rangers, and the Orioles, I think, are one of those teams that are on that list. So you think about the teams that have gotten the World Series and have finally won a World Series ever in the first time ever in franchise for over 56 years as a team. That's the Houston Astros, and they finally broke it down on their list. So that's really special for them, especially as a team, especially when they won the World Series 2 nights ago.
Yeah.
And about the game, you look at the stats, and the only run that the Dodgers ever scored was led by Jock Peterson.
Play like a champ, baby.
In the fourth, and that was the only one they ever scored. But
what do you know about Jock Peterson, Jack?
There was also 2 innings later where the Dodgers were in scoring positions and they had the bases loaded, but they got struck out during that inning, and the game played on. So you really think of what happened in the game. I mean, here's what I would do if I was Los Angeles. Now, they chose to pitch Darvish, what I really should do is come up with a better pitcher with a 2-day rest, and they didn't do that. And Los Angeles has got to find a way to win a World Series if they want to do that. So Clayton Kershaw would be one of them, as well as Alex Wood. But Darvish, just try to find a way to get it done. It didn't happen.
Hey, good points, Jack. You're right about a lot. You're right about all that. And also, it's really cool to see Houston win because, like you said, they haven't won one before. This is first time for Houston. After the hurricane, the flooding, they needed something like this. Jose Altuve dedicated it. He said it right when he said, this is for the people. This is for the fans that have stuck with us when we weren't any good. And now they're still with us, and we're going to win a championship for you guys and give you something better to think about than the flooding and all that. I love the fact that they won. Jock Peterson, Jack, what do you know about Jock Peterson? Cool guy for the Dodgers. Play like a champ, right?
He did. They did. Yes, led by him, and the rest of the Dodgers played as a team. And what they've learned from this World Series is definitely going to be something to remember, even though they fell short. I do think Los Angeles will be favored in the Vegas Superbook next season, but they have gone this far. They just fell a little short. Yeah,
Jack, what a great World Series. Game 5, Game 2 will go down in the history books as some of the best games in a World Series. And the fact that it goes to a Game 7 is always what you want in a World Series, for the fans at least. Maybe not the players, but the Dodgers have a World Series already. And the Houston Astros did it, and now they do. So it's a great World Series. Jack, what football games are you looking at tomorrow?
So what I'm looking at tomorrow is not only the South Carolina Georgia game, but also NC State at home against ranked Clemson.
Yeah.
And Clemson is looking to stay unbeaten, even though they have one loss in their resume.
They do.
Clemson's going to be a challenge for NC State. So
no question.
I mean, NC State lost at Notre Dame last week. If you ever watched that game,
but Notre Dame's the number 5 ranked team.
I mean, as a team, they played pretty good football, but they just couldn't find a way to win at South Bend. Now NC State has a challenge against Clemson to see if they can stop the run or get some offense going on the side of the football, so that Clemson really is going to be a team to watch out for if you're NC State.
Do you think NC State has a chance to beat them at Carter Finley Stadium?
They have a shot, but it's not going to happen. I mean, NC State does have some players to play, even though they had some
not going to happen
off the field issues before the season. Even though their first preseason kickoff game over in Charlotte, I mean,
got beat by those Gamecocks, baby.
They should have won the game, but they didn't. So NC State's going to really have another challenge for this game, for this coming weekend.
All right, Jack, are you ready for this?
Yes.
I've been talking about this all season on BlackJack Sports. Jack, you've heard me say this the whole season, football season we've had, that Clemson is better than people think they are. They have 2 losses, one to a top 5 team in the nation that's ranked higher than Clemson. 2 was in their very first game at a neutral site to yours truly, Gamecocks. Had we played them today, I don't think we would beat them. They still have a fantastic defensive line. They've got a fantastic quarterback. I think Clemson upsets. I think NC State upsets Clemson at Carter Finley at home this weekend, knocks them out of the college football playoffs. The defending national champion will no longer have a chance to win the national championship after this weekend, after they lose to NC State at Carter Finley Stadium. Jack, am I crazy?
Yeah, I'm not headed your direction because
okay, fair.
NC State does have a pretty good football team, but not as good as Clemson. So I have to disagree with you because Clemson is always winning road games, especially outscoring opponents by more than double digits. So this is going to be
except in Syracuse
for Clemson to find ways to win under head coach Dabo Swinney.
They need a bounce back game. I cannot believe they're ranked number 4 in the college football playoffs while they're ranked number 6 in the AP standings. That's a very interesting combination. Jackson, South Carolina travels down to Georgia and playing between the hedges as Georgia's ranked number 2 overall, one of the few undefeated teams left in the FBS. How bad is South Carolina going to get beat at Georgia? And Will Muschamp's not a coach that usually gets beat really bad. How bad will they get beat this weekend?
Well, the key for South Carolina is to find ways to have Georgia make mistakes on the field, and to do that, you have to get some good movement going on the ball. If you're South Carolina, now Georgia, on the other hand, is ranked number 1 in AP polls, as we know, but going to be facing a little challenge of the hedges, as you mentioned, against South Carolina, where they have a pretty good football team. It's in Athens, but they're facing a pretty good opponent. I'm not going to say Georgia's going to win, but I'm saying that they're playing a very tough opponent. Well, I won't say a tough opponent, but I would say a pretty challenging opponent for the side of the ball. It could concern Georgia fans if they were to get beat by South Carolina, but I don't think it's going to happen. But if it were to happen, then I think the world of college football would be leaning towards the upper direction if Alabama's going to resume number 1. If Georgia were to lose that game, I don't see it happening. But if it were to happen, it can make the college football world very shocked.
No doubt. Jack, in another sense, let's talk about Alabama since you just mentioned them. LSU goes to Alabama, 19 goes to 1. There's been sort of a resurgence and a second win for your buddy Ed Orgeron at LSU. Do they have any chance of even competing in this game against Alabama? At Alabama.
What we've seen done before in the past for LSU has beaten Alabama before, but you look back at the BCS championship game over in the Superdome where they met again, they lost. And LSU had tried to be dominant as they can on the side of the ball, but was unable to beat Alabama in the second time that season. So it's going to be a very challenging game. I don't see that one happening either. I think Alabama wins by a double digit of 20 points.
I think you're probably right on that, Jack. I got one more quick question as we're out of time.
I wanted to ask you.
What?
Before we
and I got one for you too.
You're right, but you're right. And before we get off there is
what?
What do you think about Virginia Tech
yes!
against Miami in South Florida.
Yes.
Prime time Saturday night. Tell me about that game and how it's going to play out.
Okay, first of all, Jackson, this is why we broadcast together. Great minds think alike. Guess what? That is the exact same game I wanted to ask you about. Jack, 13 versus 9. Miami's undefeated. They played some very tight games. They haven't looked like a number 9 ranked team to me. I'm a little nervous that Virginia Tech's going to come into Miami and drop an L on the U. They got some defensive swagger down there in Miami, but their offense didn't show up last week. If their offense doesn't show up, I think Virginia Tech may hand them their first loss. What do you think?
I agree. And if Miami were to find a way to win this game, they will still be unbeaten. I think Mark Richt has done a good job on recruiting and finding good players.
Fantastic.
This program has definitely gone in the right direction. If they were to win, they would still be alive, probably in the playoff hopes, I guess, for the next few weeks or so. But if they were to win this game, they will definitely stay unbeaten.
Jack, I think Mark Richt left Georgia in a way better situation than he was left at Miami. That being said, he's done a great job, like you said, to get them where they're at. Who wins the game, Jack? Miami or Virginia Tech?
It's going to be a close game. I am going to be heading your direction as well because I have Virginia Tech winning that game as well by 1 point. I love Mark Richt. I hope the best from him. We got to be honest and we've got to be fair and balanced at BlackJack Sports. I think Virginia's too good. It's too early. I think give Miami a year or two and they're going to be doing the same thing, undefeated halfway through the season. However, the U swagger is back with the gold chains. I think we need some gold chains for our shows. Just saying. But if the fans can get behind them in Miami this weekend, that might be the deciding factor and give them a 3-point advantage playing at home. I still think Virginia Tech wins the game. Jack, it's a beautiful day here in Charleston, South Carolina. It's a little warmer than you would think for November, but it's a beautiful Friday. Don't forget, Charleston Southern opens up in basketball tonight. And so we'll see what happens. Great broadcasting with you, Jack. You got it, Blake. Have a good weekend, and we will talk to you next week.
All right, Jack.
Have a good weekend.
See you, Jack.
Bye. Take care.